Welcome in, everyone. This is our weekly flow recap for the week of December 23rd, 2024 to December 27th, 2024. Little shorter week, obviously, with Christmas. We had the half day on Tuesday. Market was closed on Wednesday, so a little shorter list here. We'll kind of go through it, and as always, I'd like to let everybody know if you're liking these videos, please hit that like button on here, subscribe. Helps others learn as well that might be looking for that. And again, as always, too, for those that might be newer to joining, all of these alerts, they are posted in Discord in real time. Some are flow and charts. These are trades that I am taking or people that are requested. So as always, all these are posted in real time. And let's get started here. So Monday we had a little quieter day there. We had one trade on Monday, PLTR on the 1384 calls. So let's go here. It'll look better if I do it like this. You can see our PLTR enter our whale here. Kind of the flow at the time when it came in. You can see that jump in that IV. That's the thing I'm looking for, kind of one of the things. Seeing that spot being filled at the ask side all the way up here, just kind of quietly looking there. Looked good there at the time. And then on Monday, here's your 23rd, huge spike in that net call premium on the day. So these actually made a better move the next day. These did turn green same day, hit about 224 same day. But let's move this back to the 24th. So we had a gap up on these the next day. So here's our whale 182, gapped up and hit a high of 363, 375 there on the 24th. So those contracts running from 182 to 375, that is 106% return there. And you can kind of see some bid side coming in here. Majority of that's probably getting taken off, profit taking, all that. So that was PLTR. Next up, we have SOUN. And again, another good one here is our, and these are from the 24th. So let's do it like this. So here is our 24th right here, or 26th. Sorry. Let's look at that again quick. 1 second. Sorry, my apologies there. This is for the 26th. I was not trading on Tuesday, which was the half day. The market was closed on the 25th, Wednesday. So, okay, just had my dates messed up there a little bit. So let's go back here to the 26th. Here's our SOUN entry, 232 on those. Again, looking at that IV staying up. Not really seeing any changes there. Some bid side flow here, but one contract, nothing that's going to throw me off. If it's like 162 contracts, I'll probably kind of not trade that then, but again, you can see that IV jump back up here too as that other last leg of the trade came in there. You can see it's all pretty much ask side fills here too, so it looked good there. We look at that net premium, that call premium on the 26th, just spiking. These contracts actually made a nice intraday move here of that 232 up to about 370, yep, right there. Taking at about 340 right now, closed at 296 on Friday. But these contracts moving from that 232 to 370, that's 59% on those. Next up, we have LUNR. These are the 221.25 calls, 225 average. These are kind of flat right now. 225, closing at about 190. Whales down about 15%. 53 days left on these though, so keep that in mind. And looking at the net premiums here, just a lot of bullish net premium, so something to watch. And again, feel free if you want to tail one of these that haven't made a move yet, you can do so, but please monitor the open interest, all that. Let's look at the flow feed here for that. So spike in the IV, you can see that right when that whale started coming in, that IV spikes. Ask side fills on a little wider bid ask too. So this is showing aggression to me. You can see that there. Flow looked good. Net premiums all matched. Whales down a little bit. 15%. 55 days or 53 days to go. Probably looking for a longer term move there. All right, up next we have RGTI, and this was a flow and charts idea, which actually gapped up, so we didn't get to take advantage of that. Notice these 117.16 calls here at 225. They did gap up to about, let's see, we opened at, I'd say 362. I wouldn't chase that, but this was one of our flow and charts. Can see they hit a high of 559, let's see, 6 on Friday. So good move there. Those contracts did run 166%. We just didn't get to trade it, sadly, with that gap up. And I do want to pop in here and show everybody the RGTI. So again, this was our write-up on it. We had 2 large ask side hits. We're looking at that daily chart here. So here's our first whale here. Our other whale here coming in right at close. Had a huge spike in that net call premium. Whoops. And then we did notice that JEX as well. That gamma increasing. You can see it increasing there on the daily. Lot of bullish gamma there. So that's kind of what stuck out on that play. Idea was there. We just didn't get to capitalize on that. So let's go on here. We have SEDG. These gap down. This was also a this was an intraday play and a flow and charts play. So you could have caught that gap down. But again, we can see that about 221 average there. They did hit a high of 260 the next day, about 17% on those. Kind of interested to see how much of this carries over, because seeing a lot of ask and kind of mid-bid fills there. So those 17.65%, and I will show everybody the flow and charts for this one as well. So SEDG, again, you can see this is how that looked on the flow and charts. Had that lower volume on the gamma there, below the spot. We were testing the 50-day moving average there. We've rejected that 5-6 sessions there. So that looked like a good resistance spot, and that RSI was kind of at the top of that little channel. So that was for that one. And again, that one was actually called out intraday as well, too. Still a lot of time on those 81 days. But those contracts up about 17% right now. XLU was our next one. These contracts pretty much break even 81 days on these. These filled at 203. You can see they closed at 201-ish, 197-ish. Got them closing down about 1% or 2. Still 83 days, 81 days. Kind of harder to recap something like that. When you look at that net premiums here, I mean that big spike in that net put premium on that day. And we look at the raw flow feed. 1476, can see that staying up, not decreasing or anything. Ask side fill there, all the way up on a little wider bid ask. Looks like a buy to me. So that was XLU, so no movement made on that. Whale filled at 203, running about 195 to 2 or so. HIMS was a good one. This one gapped down the next day. We had these 117.28 puts being filled at about 2, hitting a high of 304 on Friday. 52% on those. And we'll look at the flow feed here as well. So again, you can see that IV coming up here. Small drop here. So this is where that repeated hits descending fill. This is kind of why you got to look at the flow feed, because you might see descending fill while that could be maybe them selling at the ask. Well, coming in here, you can see we had one contract come in a penny below the ask. So that is where you're going to get that descending fill, but you're still being filled with that ask side, and it's a very small, one contract versus all this other heavier volume here. So this is why you should be looking at the flow feed. You get that, you can see that whole picture there. And 2 hitting a high of 304, 52% on those. EH, the 221.16 calls, again, kind of flat. These are from Friday, so 12/27, 195, 220 for a high. Not a huge move so far. About 6%, 7%. Whale, I would obviously check that open interest here in the morning just to make sure, because it's the same exact amount of contracts here. So you got 500 there, and then you got 500 there. Just make sure that it carries over. Should have about 1,000 there. Then you look at that net call premium, big spike. Go back the last 14 days. Big spikes over the last, from the 18th to Friday. So something to keep an eye on there. And we looked at the raw flow feed. So this one is kind of a bigger, because it's one big block of them. So you got 77.49 for the IV. We look at that first candle. So IV does kind of drop from that first candle, but it's not at the same time. So that's where we can see our ascending fill here too. So you got the repeated hits ascending fill. 180, still more on that ask side, and then we're being filled about 50 cents over the bid there to the ask. So that's a very aggressive whale there. Oklo, these made an intraday move, being filled here at 149, hitting a high of 190 on the day. Those hitting 27.5%. Good intraday trade. Majority of this volume looks like it's still in. Huge spike in that net put premium. Come back 3 days or so. Massive spike, and we got that put volume there. Look at the raw flow. 126.61. Again, you have that descending fill, and you can see where it drops a little bit, but it's right at that ask still. So 126.61, can see that IV increasing. And again, majority of these are ask side fills. That looks like buys to me. You have that net put premium to match with that. Again, contracts closing at about 140 from that 149 entry, but hitting a high of 190 on the day. So those contracts did intraday move from that 149 to 190, 27.5%. So next up we have BE. Again, these are not making a big move. These kind of came in towards little midday. Again, here we are, 110 the fill. Not seeing a lot of movement so far on that, only hitting a high of 115. These are sitting break even pretty much right now. Net put premiums kind of mixed there. Google, the 110, 192.5 call. These made a nice little move up in the day, 330, hitting a high of not 498 because that was here at the open. Hit about 421 here, 422-ish. About 27% on those. Kind of want to see that volume, see how much of this carries over into Monday there. But nice intraday move there. Then we have SE. And these kind of coming in towards close, but making a little move and close. So you can see that we came in here at that 210, 215. I'm Central Time. So here's our 210, 215-ish right here. You can see we dropped from 108 down to 107. That's a pretty good move, pretty good scalp. Obviously, they're 18 days. They're probably looking for a little more. But these moving 305 and hitting about 350-ish there. So about 14% if you're a quick scalper there. And looking at the raw flow, again, 37.30, can see that staying up. Can see those ask side fills on that little wider bid ask. Looks like a buy to me. But that is all I got this week. Little shorter week, obviously, with the holiday, so we didn't have a lot of flow to recap. If you are interested in joining Stock Hub, there is a description below, and I will have the link for Stock Hub in there. And I will also have an Unusual Whales discount code if you're interested in trying Unusual Whales. And again, please like and share. There's a lot of people out there that like to learn to read flow, and they should be learning correctly, just because there's a lot of misinformation out there on reading flow. Otherwise, have a great weekend, everyone.